What's up? Good morning everybody from the very beautiful house that we've been staying at in the hills in Slovenia for the past few days for Isabel's birthday. It is an absolutely beautiful day today. Check out the blueness everywhere. It is set to be a gorgeous day today anyway, but we are leaving this house today. So, because it's our last morning here, before we leave, I wanted to take the opportunity right now, while everyone's out the van and it's looking its best, to show you guys our updated tour of our Mercedes Sprinter van for this year. For those of you guys that have followed this channel for a while, last summer I bought this 2014 Mercedes Sprinter van and I converted it. It took me like just short of a month to convert to a 7-bed tiny home on wheels, and we took it into Europe for a few months, and it was one of the most incredible times we've ever had, ever. One of the beautiful things about building your own van is that you can change it when you need to, and when you live in it for a period of time, you realize the mistakes that you made originally, or just things that you want to change and alter so that you can live in it more comfortably. So then earlier this year we went to Ireland and did the Wild Atlantic Way in it. We spent over a month in Ireland and that was incredible, and we'd made a lot of changes to the van to go to Ireland from when we were in Europe last year. And then now we've also made a lot of new changes to the van from when we were in Ireland to now. So I wanted to talk you guys through what we've changed, show you guys what it looks like now, and hopefully enjoy this version 3 of our van tour. I don't think the van's going to be changing again. I'm pretty happy with it now. We've lived in it for the last month on the road. There's nothing that I hate about it. There's nothing that I'd be like, oh yeah, I need to change that when we get home. So as of now, this is the final van tour. Okay, so a little bit of a backstory. We went to Mexico this year, and just before we went to Mexico, this van went into one of my very good friends' body shop to have what we thought was going to be the facelift of its lifetime. So I have got the 2014 version of the Sprinter van, which is the facelift model from the 2012 Sprinter van, if you get me. For those of you guys into Sprinter vans and stuff like that, I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about. However, in 2018, Mercedes updated the front end and the rear again. So there is a newer version, a newer looking version of the Sprinter van. It's had another facelift from the model I've got. And I really love the look of the new facelift ones, and they just look really nice, really gorgeous. And I looked online everywhere to see if, because you basically, from the original Sprinter van, you can upgrade it to the Sprinter van facelift that I've got fairly easily. There's a few videos online of people doing it. There's no videos online anywhere of somebody upgrading my Sprinter van to the brand new facelift model. So I was like, I'm gonna be the first person to do it. I'm sure I can do it. I literally studied all the panels online between the two, and they looked like they lined up pretty close, and I was like, I'm sure I can do it. I rang a load of Mercedes engineers at Mercedes garages, and they were all like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it can be done. So I was like, it can be done. So then I went to my very good friend who owns a body shop, and he hasn't done anything like this before, but he's a fellow van lifer, so he was like, I think it can be done. Let's go for it, man. So he took charge of my van whilst we were in Mexico, and he was going to upgrade the whole front end and the rear to the brand new Mercedes Sprinter facelift. So kind of I would have like a fake van. I'd have a 2014 model Sprinter that looked like the brand new 2020 version. Except 1 week into Mexico, when all the panels had arrived and they started to fit them, he rang me and he was like, dude, it's impossible. It can't be done. And there's just a slight change in the angle, apparently, on the supports for the windscreen at the side that just won't line up without some really heavy duty manipulating of the shape of the panels, basically. Long story short, it's not possible to go from the 2014 Sprinter to the facelift of the 2018 one. So we had to scrap that idea, but we still carried on with all the other modifications for the exterior that I'd planned anyway, because I had planned on getting the facelift front end done and then adding things like bull bars, side steps, and a load of off-road overlander type lights to it, which we'd done anyway. So no facelift. It's not possible to do apparently, although we did try really hard. I'm not going to be the first person to have ever done it. That's also probably why no one online has ever done it before, because it can't be done. But you know, there we go. Anyway, I'm going to show you around what we did on the exterior. So bearing in mind, we've been on the road for a few weeks now. The van is definitely due a wash. So these are absolutely filthy right now, but so we added side bars, side steps, chrome finish, look really, really good all the way down. Although right now they look like dusty as heck. Complementing perfectly the rugged off-roadness of the Black Rhino wheels. We also added mud guards, which I think just give it a really cool look to go with the sidebars. And swinging round to the front, we added in custom fog lights, which were not there before, and a custom Sprinter bull bar at the front. Now, being a massive family, lots of kids, we needed lots of storage for this van. I know I've spoken about this before, but I'm going to quickly go over it right now. Hence the two huge Fiamma boxes on the roof. We've got one on this side and one on the far side as well. And to access those, we've got one ladder on this side, which directly accesses this one. And swinging around to the passenger side, we have another ladder mounted on this side on the sliding door. And this has got two purposes. Number one, when the door is closed, we just actually close it. We can climb up onto our roof deck. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Full, nice, lovely sun deck, and then we've got the light bar at the front there. Again, super dusty, but you can see on top of the Fiamma boxes, I've also mounted two 200-watt solar panels. We've got the max fans, one at the front, and we've also got one at the rear over the rear bed. Those max fans, especially when you're coming somewhere hot like Europe in the summer, are absolutely necessary. They cool the van immensely, especially when you've got one blowing air out and the other one blowing it in. It creates a nice like tunnel wind effect through the van, and it's very, very cooling indeed, especially at night time. It is very good. The 400 watts of solar, personally, I don't think are enough. I'd like to upgrade it to 600 at least. They charge the batteries, when it's a nice day like today, they charge them fine. But they, if it's marginally cloudy at all, then you're getting the tricklest of power from them. The battery bank I have in here is a 400 amp hour battery of AGM batteries. I don't have lithium in this. I do plan to upgrade them in the near future, but they, it's a big battery bank, and that lasts us very, very well. It's very good. Overnight we use, between everyone's chargers and TVs running in the evening, and I don't know, whatever else we use like a white noise machine at night time. There's a lot of electricity going on in our van on a night time basically, and we use around 19% of the battery bank, so we're usually down to about 81% from 100 every night. And obviously every morning when the sun comes up, that starts to charge. It just charges very slowly on these panels, so I would like to upgrade them. But then obviously we've got the Victron B2B charger that recharges the batteries as soon as we start the engine, and that works very, very fast indeed. So they're always back at 100%. And if we're not moving on anywhere, we're staying somewhere for the day, like at a lake or whatever, maybe potentially we might have to run the engine for like, I don't know, a little bit to charge them up a little bit if the solar panels are not doing their job. But all in all, it works really well. No issues with the setup electric wise or anything like that. And it always charges up during the daytime, whether it's between the solar panels or the B2B when we're driving. We always end up with a full battery bank by the night time again for the cycle to start over. Anyway, back to the sliding door. So the sliding door, when it's shut, lets us onto the sun deck. We'll now lock the door. And then when the door's open, we slide it all the way across till it locks. And we've got access to the top box there. I know, ingenious, right? Another addition to the 2022 summer is this two-lay storage box mounted on the rear door, which is invaluable. When you're a big family like us, these Fiamma boxes, even these, don't do it justice. This is full of our like exterior carpets for when we're outside. It's full of our beach mats, shoes, extra shoes. It is just rammed with, I've used nets and stuff inside of it and shelves to organize it all, and it's full of all sorts of stuff basically. We really need this box, and we needed it when we were in Ireland. We realized we needed it in Ireland, and to be able to have it on this trip is absolutely invaluable. It's bolted to the door, so it's completely and utterly solid, and it works really, really well. I have seen a lot of Sprinter conversions with the American style black metal boxes on the rear doors and stuff like that, but I could not get hold of them anywhere, so I had to improvise. And if I want to get hold of them from America, there's a very long waiting list. So hopefully I'll be able to get hold of them in the near future, but for now, this works absolutely perfect, and it's proven absolutely invaluable for storage on this trip. I also think it looks absolutely wicked. Okay, so that wraps up the exterior modifications that we've done recently, and So time to move on to the interior. So I'm going to try and explain this as best I can do because it's going to be kind of difficult to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But in these vans, you can have the sides cut out or flares installed so that it's possible to lay asleep across the van this way. So like head in that side or foot in that side, and you can sleep that way comfortably. Because normally as vans come, unless you're like a shorter person, that's not possible because they're not wide enough basically. So you have flares installed, which are these on the outside. These are the flares, which just basically increase the area width at the back so that you can sleep across the van rather than lengthways down the van, which saves you loads of space in the cabin for your bed, etc. to go. So you can have a bed that doesn't intrude into the cabin as much, which gives you more space overall to live. So the flares are absolutely essential, especially for when you're a bigger family on the road. Our van used to be cladded with wood, like wood cladding beams all the way through the cabin. It still is on the right hand side in the living area, but the way that the cladding was done originally made the flares kind of lose a lot of space. So I wanted to make sure that we had as much flare space as possible, because when we went to Europe and when we went to Ireland as well, I did struggle with the space width-wise, and I was often sleeping with my feet or my legs not being able to stretch out properly, which turned into like leg ache for me in the night, and it just ends up being not the most comfortable sleep. I'm often like kind of like squashed in the corner, which means that I don't have a lot of room for my legs at some positions. So I wanted to make sure that I did this time and had loads of room to stretch out properly no matter where I was laying on the bed. And so I ripped out all of the cladding all the way down the van. I left it in the living room because I like the look of it there, but everywhere else I ripped it out, and I made sure that the flare spaces were absolutely as big as they could possibly be, which worked out really, really good. And I changed all of the cladding I went for plywood, which I lined with carpet, special carpet for camper vans. And it worked out really, really good. I don't know if you can see properly, but if I just pat the bed down, because our bed mattress is so thick. But if you see underneath there, this space here, this is basically where like our feet go. And same on the other side for like our pillows and head and whatnot on that side. So these were really small before, probably like set up, I would say probably for just over a single bed size, but now they're the full width of the bed. And you know, king bed size now, they're absolutely massive, and there's plenty of space for our feet to go in here on the night time and be very, very comfortable, and the same on the other side as well. And then we get to one of the biggest changes, the fact that all of the cladding has been ripped out and it's been all replaced with plywood lined with camper van carpet, which I really love the look of, and a lot of van conversions are going for this nowadays. I think it looks really, really smart. It's super, I'm not going to say it was easy to do, but you know, it took me a little bit of time to do, but the finish on it looks really professional, I think, in my opinion. And I think I did a really good job of it. So, and it's kind of stretchy carpet that you spray glue on and you stretch it over the plywood, and it's kind of really easy to work with. It was an absolute pain to do through these flares. But again, there's no wrinkles anywhere, and I think it looks super, super good. It wipes really easily, so if it gets chocolate on it or dirty from like children or something, it wipes off really, really easily, and I think it looks really, really good. Also installed these touch reading lights above mine and Sarah's head, so you just touch them to turn them on and off, and then you've got a USB port at the bottom for your phone chargers. Smart TV, smart Android TV, which runs on both 12 volts and mains as well, and then just behind that is a wall-mounted DVD player, so we've got DVD. If we've got no phone signal, we can't watch Netflix, we've got DVD as well. And that swings right across the gap here in the bed, so we can both lay on our bed comfortably and see the TV. One of the things I'm most buzzing with on the van changed for this time are these new storage boxes. Now these are IKEA Trones, I think they're called, and I think these are amazing for van builds because they are super like lightweight, super durable. Like I've thrown these around and I can't crack or damage them at all. They're amazing, and they store so much. This one's for my clothes storage, the second one down Sarah's clothes storage. We also have a bag each in one of the Fiamma boxes to change around. These are kind of like probably like a week's worth of clothes in here. And then the next two, that's for plates and bowls and stuff, and the next one down from that's for cups and glasses and things like that. The two further down have child locks on them just to make sure that nothing pops open when we're on the road, like in the plates cupboard and the cup cupboard. That's a bit more heavy. I mean, they never do anyway. These are just closed, so these don't have the same latches on because it's not needed. They never open anyway, and if they did, nothing would happen. So, but just to make sure that the plates and cups and things are protected, they've got latches on them so that they can't possibly open on the road. And we also installed lighting all the way down, which on a night time looks really, really good. Most of you guys will know that watched our last van tours. We used to have a bed lift system in here. So this bed was on a winch, and this would winch basically into the roof. Kind of like a Happy Jack bed system for those of you who are familiar with van conversions and stuff like that, but one that I put together using a winch instead. And it worked really well. We used to get rid of our bed in the daytime, and then this area would fold into a seating area with benches on both sides and a table in the middle. But we realized that we just really never used that. It just didn't get used as much as I thought it would be, thought it would do. And we also, because of that system, we had to compromise on the lower bed space, and I really didn't want to do that anymore. I thought basically that it would be much better to get rid of that hill system, have 2 fixed beds at the rear rather than having like a movable bed system, and it's worked out so much better this time. So Esme and Isabel sleep on the bottom here, and they used to have a double bed size bed down here. Potentially a tiny bit smaller on the width of a double bed, but it was almost double bed size width, and it's always double bed length. So the length all the way down is the same length as a double bed. But the width on their bed at the back was probably just slightly less than a double bed width, and I wanted to make sure that they had like a huge amount of space this time so I could put in a king size mattress. So Sarah and I have a king size, too thick I personally think, mattress on the top, but we didn't want to be uncomfortable in any way, shape or form on this trip, so we went to IKEA to buy a few things, and we got this mattress. It was 360 something pounds. But it's well worth it. This mattress it's a king size mattress. It fits perfectly in the space that we've got for the beds, and it's a bit bendy as well. So because it's a medium softness, so it bends really nicely into the alcoves of the flares. So it works really, really well, and it's so comfortable. It's like our bed on the top is so nice. And the best bit about that was we could also get a king size mattress for the bottom this time for the girls, and now they too have a king size bed on the bottom rather than a double, or I think it was probably just slightly less width than a double on the bottom. But now they've got tons of space to move about, they've got tons of space to sleep, and it works really, really well. And because we don't have the winch system anymore and our beds are fixed rather than being movable, we can make sure that the whole width on the bottom was turned into usable bed space. So on this side, on here, we used to have a compartment where all of our electricals were, all of our batteries were in there, all of our solar charge controller was in there, everything for the electrics was on this side in like a compartment which stuck out kind of to about there. It stuck out quite a lot, and it took away loads of space for the bed down here. Same on this side. We used to have on this side another compartment of the same size, but it was for water. So we had the water pump in there, we had the water tank in there, and it took up loads of space that could be used for usable bed space. And I wanted to get rid of all of that and move it all so that the girls could have a full big wide space on the bottom to fit a nice juicy king size mattress in. So I got rid of the compartment on the side, got rid of the batteries, got rid of the solar charge controller, everything to the electrics, got rid of it. And the same with the water. The water tank is now mounted underneath the van along with the grey tank. So they're gone, they're completely underneath and they don't take up any space anywhere, which is amazing. And all the batteries and the solar charge controller are all at the back side of the garage now, just above the rear wheels. So just under the girls' bed, like near where the shower starts over there by the TV, they're underneath the floor, underneath there, not taking up any usable space up on top, and they're hidden away. And it's perfect like that. There's access panels to get to them when you need to, but aside from that, they're out of sight, out of mind, not taking up any space. Perfect. And we also installed a couple of these Trones boxes in here. Isabel's clothes, Esme's clothes. They've got a smart Android TV as well, all set up and loving life on there for them. Underbed lighting obviously for them on the night time. Boom. And it's just really cozy under there. It's a really nice bunk bed style thing going on, and yeah, they love it. They absolutely love this, the extra space. Obviously fire extinguisher just mounted in the corner there, and they've got their plug points on the side too, as well as a second carbon monoxide alarm just behind that little wall just there. Fans to keep them nice and cool, because obviously our max fan up there doesn't get to them down here, so they've got a second set of fans down here, which these are powerful. I'm going to link these in the description box. I got these from Amazon. They're so powerful, it's ridiculous. They are really, really good at keeping this bottom area cool when it's really hot. And then just underneath the slats, underneath our bed here, we've got some storage that we've got some books in, and these are the mounts for our bed swing that I'll show you in a bit. Our actual bed swing is actually stored underneath our mattress, because our mattress is so thick and juicy, but it's also soft. You can store that under there and you don't even notice it's there, you don't feel it or anything. So, and we've just got some marshmallow sticks here and Jace's aeroplane. So it's just like a little bit of storage for just random bits and bobs. Like I mentioned as well before, we do have on this side underneath the bed, we've got the water pump. We've got our new bobble hot water heater, which is in there, which is a brand new upgrade for this trip. Absolutely amazing, works incredible. This is our laundry bag, which we just used from IKEA. It's currently got other bags inside it because we've just done all of our laundry. We don't have any laundry left to do. And on this side, it's just blanket storage basically. And just to put loads of nice juicy baby me blankets in for if we're cold. But this might be my favorite upgrade of this van this year. So, one thing I really love doing, and one thing we all love really doing when we're on trips like this, is cooking outside. And to be able to cook outside is really cool, especially when you're at somewhere really beautiful, like a cliff top or something cool like that, and the weather's gorgeous. So I wanted to make a usable space that we could cook outside on that was just cool. Also versatile because it can store stuff in. So I decided to build an outdoor kitchen. Now it's a very basic outdoor kitchen. I'm just gonna put like a disclaimer, right? I ain't no carpenter, all right? You know, I can cut wood and I can put stuff together. I know what I'm doing-ish. I've built this whole van, so I kind of know what I'm doing as a beginner's basic style thing. But I ain't no carpenter. This isn't the most pretty thing you've ever seen, but it's cool and it works and it's functionable. And we've used it a lot on this trip so far. So this is our little pull-out outdoor kitchen. Okay, so mounted on 2 heavy-duty drawer slides is our outdoor kitchen. Boom, which pulls all the way out of the back of the van. We've got our Dutch oven stored in here at the minute and tripod. We've cooked on that a few times, so very, very good. We've got some random bits and bobs like some fire logs. Here is our barbecue that goes here, but that is currently round the back of this house. We've used it last night. And obviously our gas for our outdoor cooking stove. So moving around, lifting up the little lid, we've got our outdoor cooking stove, and then pop it up. Then we've got a usable space outside to cook on, chop on. This thing is solid. A man could sit on this, a big man's weight like me, could sit on this and it wouldn't break. They're absolutely solid, really heavy duty drawer sliders. So super quick and easy to get out and pop away. Got a mozzie candle in there as well. I did install these for Ireland earlier this year, but one of the best things I ever installed in this van was curtains. We used to have those stick-on pad window covers, and they were just a pain in the butt to store and to put on every night. But these curtains are just absolutely amazing, on and off. All the windows have got these on. Just thought I'd quickly show them again. The only other thing we've done at the back is we've got I've added some nets to the back doors just for storage. At the minute, there's one of Mila's toys in there and one of Isabel's beanies, and then our outdoor foot shower thingy. It's actually a pressure washer. It's really good. It's got a big long cable on it, so it can reach to the front of the van if you wanted to, and it's a pressure washer on a separate water pump to the normal water pump. So there's 2 water pumps under there, and it works really good. Especially good for like if you just come off the beach and you want to spray your legs and your feet down before you get in or whatever. This is really, really good for that. We do also have an outdoor shower, which we bought for the first van trip from a company called Julka, and that was really, really good for the first trip, and it was good for Ireland as well. We used to carry a pop-up enclosure, outdoor shower enclosure, which you can use. The only problem with that is you have to use that boiler outside, so it's only really an outdoor shower. So you can use the shower inside. We have a shower cubicle inside, and we always had the shower cubicle inside from the very first van trip. So we've always had the wet room inside, which is fully waterproofed and good to go for a shower, but we always only had the Julka water system. So what we used to do is, when we wanted to use the shower, we'd have the Julka boiler mounted outside where you're supposed to have it mounted, and it's an instant hot water system, so it's very, very good. It's not like you have to wait for like a tank of water to heat up, which is kind of what we've got now. But the system we've got now is better. I'll explain that in a minute. But we had then the shower line. We had like an extension shower line that went from the boiler into the shower room so that you could shower inside using the Julka. But often we showered outside in our shower enclosure or just outside in the wild, because that was his boss. So that boiler system was great because it was instant hot water, very, very easy to use, great piece of kit from that company. But this time we wanted a proper upgrade. We wanted to have hot water in the sink every time that we needed it for washing up, and hot water in the bathroom for the sink in the bathroom and for the shower as well. So we upgraded the water system this time around to I'm not going to open it all up because I can't bother taking the girls' bed apart. But basically under here is our normal water pump for the taps, and our pressure washer water pump as well, and also this, which is our bobble hot water system, which is very, very good, recommended by a couple of van lifer friends of mine, and it works incredible. It just takes the cold water from the water tank under the van, heats it up on either 12 volts. I've got the 12 volt system. You can either get it on 12 volts or mains. I've got the 12 volt system because we're off grid more than we're on grid, and it takes about an hour to heat the water up fully for a good hot shower, and it holds, I think it holds 10 litres of water, which is plenty for a quick shower in the van, which is what you use van showers for. None of these luxury long lathering yourself up showers, quick in and out showers, but it does the job. Massive upgrade for that, for the hot water, for the sink as well, for washing up. Very, very good indeed. Okay, so moving on to the inside. So looking in at the van from our last trip in Ireland to now, it looks very, very similar. There isn't a massive amount of changes that have happened cosmetically down here in the living area. The biggest upgrade, I think, for this trip is this. Not the shoe storage, it's another one of these Trones boxes, which we use for shoe storage, coming in and out of the van, but this instead. Take the child safety catch off, just so it doesn't slide open on its own. Now in this van, we've got one 12 volt fridge underneath the hob, a big one, and we've also got a big fridge underneath the sofa here. But to access the big fridge under the sofa, you used to have to take this cushion off and lift up the panel underneath, and then lift up the fridge lid and access the stuff in there, which was really, really annoying, because if you wanted to get anything out, you had to take everyone had to get off the sofa and get out of the way to get in the fridge and get something out. If you wanted to, usually that fridge underneath there is stored for our cold drinks and stuff, and if you wanted a cold drink, say if we're driving or something, you wanted a cold drink, you couldn't get them because everyone's obviously strapped in and sat down on their butts when we're driving, and you can't access that fridge whatsoever. So we changed it up to make it better for this trip, and this, I think, is the best modification of this entire trip, of this entire van right now. So we get our shoe storage and we pull, and the fridge magically appears on sliding drawers, just like at the back with the kitchen. It's completely empty right now because all of our food is in the house, and we've eaten it also, you know. Plus the added bonus of this slide out drawer is that at the back we've got pan storage, so our pans are not in the cupboards which they used to be in the kitchen. The pans are now underneath the seat and away and accessible whenever we need them, and this just neatly slides back in and is gone. So this is our full living area, which also doubles as Isla and Jace's bed. This whole thing turns into one big double bed, which is where Jace and Isla sleep on a night time. We've got an under sofa electric oven, which works really well, all heat insulated underneath, so it's perfectly safe to use, and it works really, really well. We've made pizzas on this oven, on this trip, sorry, a few times, and it's low energy as well, so it doesn't use too much battery power to use it. We've obviously got our smart Android TV mounted here on a swivel, so it can pull all the way into the middle of the cabin as well. And so we can all watch it from the back bed and the bottom bed if we're having like a family movie night or whatever. And we've done many a Stranger Things nights on this TV, just like this, on this trip. Xbox for the girls to play on. Obviously we've got our cupboard storage for food and stuff like that. And underneath the seat here is our diesel heater, which obviously we don't need on this trip. We haven't needed it so far on this trip anyway. Around on this side we've got cupboard drawer, which is also doubles as our toaster drawer, so our toaster's permanently mounted in there and it's plugged in ready to go, so you just pull the drawer out to use the toaster, and all of our cutlery and stuff, chopping board. Second fridge, which is really good. And for this year we got a brand new hob as well, because something fell off of one of the old shelves in here and landed on the hob, the glass hob, and cracked it and smashed it. So we replaced the hob this year and got a new one, which works so much better. I love this hob. Sink, obviously tap. This is our 12 volt air cooler, which works really, really well. You just put cold water in it and it cools the air down even more, so it's kind of like a secondary backup. to use with the max fans to keep it cool in here. Shelving on the walls, this is all new for your tea, coffee, sugar, spices and whatnot. Obviously this was all white wooden cladding, now it's all nice and carpet lined. This is all the same as it was before. Obviously this is the cladding that it used to be, this white cladding that we swapped for the carpet. All storage for all of our hydro flasks and things, nice smelly things to make it smell gorgeous in here, which it does. And obviously the Trone's wall storage all the way down, like I talked about before. Girls' bed area, our bed area, this little bench, which is super nice to sit on. Right now we've got all of our Esme's grenadine and loads of bits of drinks and stuff stored here in this little box. And this, which is another big upgrade for this year, which I absolutely love, which is our ice machine. This thing is incredible. We use this in Disneyland and in a video, I think we showed it, but this is a low energy ice cube maker. So it runs off of the batteries really well. It uses around about 1% of power-ish every hour. I would say it's really low energy, but it works really, really well. And it produces some nice ice cubes. So we've always got ice cubes wherever we go on the road or wherever we stop, off grid or on grid, whatever it might be. That's our fold up extra kitchen worktop, which folds up to here and joins onto this if we ever need to use it. We've also got one of them down here as well, which folds up like that for extra kitchen workspace for when we're making meals. This is our main control panel for lights, water pump, etc. Little JBL speaker, which is excellent, very, very good. Some nice little IKEA decoration. Bits and bobs. Jace's iPad mount for when we're traveling. This is where Jace's car seat goes. The ISOFIX are just behind here. And the cushion, this cushion is replaced with one of these smaller ones, and the ISOFIX base just goes into the bottom of the seat, and Jace's seat is there basically. So that's where Jace sits when we're traveling. This is set up purely for when we've stopped somewhere right now. Again, under the bed here, we've got some space, some usable space to store some stuff. Right here, we've got our little drying rack that we shove under there, and some busy books of Jace's right now. The only thing I'm a bit annoyed about with this, and I didn't have time to rectify before we left, is my power controls. So my battery monitor here, that's fine. Max fan controls all positioned fine, but my solar charge controller, so I can monitor what the solar panels are doing, is kind of buried by our bed. So obviously I installed this in the walls before we bought the mattress, and because the mattress is so thick, it just basically takes up with the duvet, it just completely crowds over that monitor. And the actual physical cable, the way I've routed the cable from the solar charge controller, there's not much flex in it left, so I couldn't just simply unscrew it and move it so I could see it better. I had to leave it where it was because there's not enough flex in the cable. So we just have to kind of, you know, unbury it to check it or whatever. Or you can do it through an app on your phone, which is what I usually do anyway. I never really use these anyway. These are just like, you know, backup or whatever, if you want to check out what the batteries are doing at any point in the day. But usually I just use the app on my phone. So down to the bathroom, very minor changes from island here as well. We've got our light up mirror right here, which is very, very useful indeed, if the camera's picking that up properly. Just our storage boxes. We've got obviously toilet, and our sink, which is a fold down camper sink with tap, which just folds away like that when you've done. Super, super good. Although this is a sealed wet room, so you could just physically turn the shower on and go for it basically. In the room with the toilet in and with everything else in, and it can all get wet and it'll just dry and it's fine. It's no big deal. It's a full wet room. But the only problem is, because we installed this electric mirror last year, which is amazing for getting ready with, especially for like the girls or whatever when they want to do the makeup and stuff like that, you know, it's really good for that. You can't obviously wet that. It's an electric mirror, and that's no good for like getting wet and stuff. It's just a bathroom mirror, but like in any bathroom, you know, you can't spray water all over the mirror and it'll be all right. It won't. It'll break. So to sort that out, basically we just installed a shower curtain in here. So if you see at the top of the roof, there's just these little mounting points, and then this is the shower curtain here. You just take the shower curtain out of the bag, clip it onto its mounting points, and it just goes down the walls basically to protect the mirror, and also to protect the baskets from getting wet when you're having a shower. Take the toilet out and leave it outside, and then you just basically shower as normal, but with the shower curtain there instead. For the shower this time, we kept the head of the shower from the Julka system. Although we don't use the Julka system now, we kept the shower head from it just because it's just a really good shower head and it works really well, and it just magnet sticks onto the wall on and off, and you can adjust it really, really easily depending on where you've got the shower curtain positioned. So we kept that because it's super good. And because we've got those Trone's storage boxes on the walls for the girls' bed and for our bed. We physically don't need to use underneath the sofa area for clothes storage, which we previously did. So the whole of the sofa area underneath here is a really big area, and we used to use that for all of our clothes. So in the morning, it was really annoying because everyone would have to like take the sofa to bits and lift up the panels to get to their clothes, get their clothes, and it was always like a traffic jam in the morning of people trying to get their clothes. So we wanted to completely eliminate that and just use under the sofa purely for like extra food storage, like for drink storage and things like that, which is only what it's used for now. And obviously Isla and Jayce's bedding from this bed goes underneath the sofa as well. But that's it, no clothes whatsoever. So everyone's clothes obviously in there, either in their Trone's boxes. And then Isla, Jayce and Mila have got a clothes bag just like this one, a packing cube type thing, which goes up here on this shelf because they don't have like a Trone's box or anything like that. So their clothes go up here along with school textbooks, Mila's high chair, and just anything else that we need to store above the cabin. That all goes in that space there, which is absolutely massive. In fact, if I could like compare it to like a size so that you could kind of gauge how big it is, I could probably get in there with my legs curled a little bit at the end and sleep on that shelf. That's how big it is. It's absolutely massive. It stores so much. So just in case anyone's wondering, if you weren't familiar with our van tours from previous trips, our seat belts are all stored behind the wall here. They just pull out and clip in on the sides down there. Same behind the TV unit as well. The seat belts just pull out and here and then clip in for the seats on here. And then there's also a middle lap belt on the side seat over there. Last but not least, just quickly to mention the fact that this van also has a full awning that's in like a roll-out bag. And basically, because of the storage boxes on the roof that we need, we couldn't install anything like a two-lay roll-out awning. Like a wind-out awning or anything like that, because there's physically not enough space underneath the roof rack to house that, between the roof rack and the sliding door. So I had to go for a different option, which was installing a caravan rail from the front right to the back of the van. And then this awning is basically like it's like a caravan rail bag awning. So it's a bag that slides onto the rail, and then you just unzip it basically, and then the awning rolls out all the way out. It's like a 3-meter awning. It's really good. And then we've also got a privacy room which zips around it, so you've got like a full awning enclosure. If you're on a site or you stop somewhere for a little while, you can get the awning out. Again, we've done it on this trip. It's been really good. And then you can zip like walls onto the side of the awning, so it becomes like an extra room on the side of the van to like double your usable living space kind of thing. And very lastly, also another thing that I installed this time was an awning light, which we didn't have before. It's like a ultra bright awning light, so we've always got light outside the van on a night time too. If we're outside under the awning just chilling, or for whatever reason we might need light for, we've got it. I'm just going around thinking of maybe last things that I've not mentioned that maybe I've forgotten. And there is one last thing that I have forgotten, is that we do also have a shower attachment that clips on just onto the water system just there, so you can have an outdoor shower basically. It's the same, pretty much the same head as the Joker shower, and you just clip it on to a valve that's just down here, just behind there, and then basically you've got an external shower which then just hangs off of here, and you can get showered outside the van as well if you want to. Very, very last but not least, so I keep forgetting things, I also installed this, our very own rear door mounted seat swing, which, let me tell you, the sun was setting yesterday just over there, and we all took full advantage of this yesterday. I'm pretty sure Sarah filmed it, so I'm going to insert a clip of that too. Joined us, and we're now outside with laundry literally everywhere. I was about to call you Mila then. Esme is checking out the little seat that we got. But it was one of my favourite things that we've installed in the van for this year, and hopefully going down the road we're going to get lots more use out of it too.